Ugh. Ugh. I have this like little journal. I told you about it, where it asks me a question every day. It's a 5-year journal. And the question today was, what sound effect do you most associate with today? And in my head, I went, I didn't quite know how to write it out.
Just a caveman grunt of frustration.
Yeah.
Oh, what was the song?
I actually didn't listen to anything new. There's a new Valerie June album. Valerie June Hive. Stand. You don't know who Valerie June is?
Wow, no.
She's local. She's from Jackson.
Mississippi or Tennessee?
Tennessee.
Okay.
And she did the anthem a couple years back at a Grizzlies game, I remember. She's super unique, but I loved her last album, and I've been waiting for this album to drop, so I was listening to it this morning. It's good.
All right.
It's called Owls, Omens, and Oracles. She just has one of the most unique sounds.
Sounds like real psychedelic.
Feels that way. A little folksy.
Okay.
But also bluesy.
Okay.
Which I guess similar, cut from the same cloth.
Mm-hmm. Is that good porch sitting music?
Yes.
Okay. There we go.
Yes.
There we go. The kid is getting
My
on that
friends had
porch.
the audacity to post that they were out drinking crispy glasses of wine last night as I was sitting there watching the third quarter. I said I needed a trigger warning because I would like to be on a porch
It's Porch Fest
listening
tomorrow.
to Valerie June.
Porch
Yeah,
Fest
it
is
is.
tomorrow.
It's also, there's a Korean barbecue festival tomorrow
I
at
did
Ghost
see
River.
something about that. Yeah.
I would love to pop into that.
Korean barbecue is so good.
It is.
It's real good.
Today's the last day of Comeback Coffee. Pour one out for
Where's
one of my
Comeback
favorite
going?
coffee spots. It's closing.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm depressed about it.
why?
So is the plant store next door. Because that was like one of my favorite spaces downtown,
Okay.
between the coffee shop and
Where's
the
Comeback?
plant store. It was down by, what's Westies.
That way. Mm-hmm. Okay. I know what you're talking about.
And people listening also know what you're talking
yeah.
about. They could see in their heads
there's
where
South
you were
Main.
pointing.
It's the opposite of South
Opposite.
Main.
It's
So
like-
you're going
but
North
you don't
Main.
call it North Main.
You're going towards
Past the convention center.
Going towards the pyramid. So it's right by the pyramid.
By the Rendezvous Shipping Center.
I did not realize that.
That's what I always think
across the
of.
street from Ferraro's.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct. All right, what's up, everybody? It is Friday, April 11th. It is going to be a good day. Jessica Benson with you from the Grind City Media Studios in Memphis, Tennessee. CJ Hurt behind the glass. Coming up on today's show, a tough one for the Grizzlies last night as they fall to the Timberwolves. Gave up 141 points, an abysmal third quarter. We'll get into it, and then we'll have to flip the page pretty fast because it's another Grizzlies game day as they face the Nuggets later tonight in Denver. Lang Whitaker will join us to continue the conversation, go through the NBA standings, see how we feel going into this final weekend of the regular season. We'll hit a little Masters with him as well. And then Smokeslam returns to Tom Lee Park next month, and we have 7-time World Barbecue Champion Melissa Cookston joining us in studio. We'll also have Memphis native singer Cyrena Wages, who is performing at Smokeslam this year. She'll be in studio as well. We'll end the show with a little Music Friday, what we're listening to going into the weekend. It is a Friday. You know what we say. Just TGIF. TGIF. TGIF.
Overwhelming demand, the Summer of '99 tour returns. July 27th, FedEx Forum. With special guests 3 Doors Down. And Mammoth WVH. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Creed returns, the Summer of '99 tour.
Bain drives.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Close. He hits and the Grizzlies have the lead.
Yeah!
Sheeran with a knockaway.
Good defense.
Durant attacking, spinning, hanging, and hitting.
Let's go! Let's go!
There's no substitute for experience, the knowledge gained from having been there before, and the passion to share what you know to make everyone around you better. It's true in basketball, it's true in banking, Grizzlies checking from Pinnacle. Play hard, bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st, and you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
Tony was the defensive guy, but Zebo was the offensive guy. So you could speak to this. It's way worse when you're getting doubled, right?
You got triple. I had went through that for when I was in Portland.
You had me on the team. You got triple. You hear me, Rose? You can't talk about those. You got to talk about triples.
You got triple teams.
This man was scoring on 3 dudes.
Swing, T.A.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
I see people who look like me and were born probably in the same decade as me, watching all of these young people jump into the transfer portal and saying, it's ridiculous. You got to stop thinking about this like it's a normal college experience. It is not. You know what the priority is? Maximize your earning potential for every year of eligibility you have left. That's what this is about now. These are jobs.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Feels great to feel the sunshine. Gotta own the day like it's all mine. Just got paid in his own time. Been working hard, I've been on the grind. I deserve this feeling, having my way. I've been on this healing. This is my day. The sun's out, let's have a little fun now. I wanna let it all out. That's what it's all about. Cause I deserve this feeling, having my way. I deserve this healing. This is my day.
Grind City Media presents The Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt. Live from the Grind City Media Studios on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
All right. Happy Friday, everybody. We have made it to the end of the week. We have our second coffee of the morning. We are here. We are ready to rumble.
I don't understand why you're drinking 2 coffees. Does that give you more alertedness?
I don't know.
Because after the first one, all I get is the jitters and the poopsies.
I'm just numb inside.
Okay. All right.
This doesn't give me the jitters and the poopsies. This is actually a protein coffee, so this is supposed to give me strength. Strength to talk about last night's Grizzlies loss and strength to look ahead to another, say it with me now, biggest game of the season for the Memphis Grizzlies as they face the Nuggets tonight in Denver. The team got to Denver at 4 a.m., just before 4 a.m. Their game tonight is at 8 o'clock Central Time. That is less than 24 hours after the tip of last night's game against the Timberwolves. It is a scheduling nightmare. And in the words of John Morant, following last night's loss, let's play some effing defense and go get a win. That would be an enjoyable thing to watch tonight. It is a must-win if you want to avoid the play-in tournament because of what transpired last night for the Grizzlies against the Timberwolves. And CJ, you know, it's Music Friday. Every day is Music Friday when you have a song in your heart. And the song in my heart last night was Kesha's 2011 hit, We Are Who We Are. Are you familiar with it?
Completely and totally not.
We are who we are, hot and dangerous. Grizzlies not hot and dangerous. No. They just are who they are.
They're dangerous if you're a fan.
They're dangerous to watch in one quarter a night, because that's the thing. Like, somebody came up to me last night and was genuinely depressed. And that's a totally valid feeling. I think many of us felt depressed watching that third quarter last night. But they put it like, if only we hadn't given up a 52-point quarter. But they said it in a way like it was some anomaly. Like it was some first time you've ever seen this team give up a big number in a quarter. And I just thought to myself, we are who we are. Like, this is what this Grizzlies team does. Oftentimes this season, we have seen for one quarter a game, it looks like they have completely forgotten how to play basketball. Like, they've never played defense in their entire lives. And that was the third quarter last night. And it got me thinking. So I went back and looked at the biggest quarters given up this season in the NBA. And the Grizzlies now hold the top spot with last night's 52-piece to the Minnesota Timberwolves. But of the 25 biggest quarters of the season, the Grizzlies have given up 4 of them. And they have 2 of the top 3, the 52 to the Timberwolves last night, and then the 50-point quarter to the Pacers back on February 20th. They gave up 46 to the Spurs in a quarter on March 1st. They gave up 46 to the Kings in a quarter back on January 3rd. And if you want to keep going, they gave up 45 to the Warriors in a quarter just a week ago, the first quarter of that game, before they gave up 41 points in the second quarter to the Celtics, the game before the game against the Warriors. They gave up 39 to the Lakers in the first quarter. Like, this is what they do. Now, have they done it to the degree that we saw last night with 52 points? No, it was the worst we have seen all season long. And it was just so frustrating because you come out of that first half, and it was one of the most fun offensive first halves that we have seen this season. Grizzlies led 72-67. Jaw and Ant were dueling. Luke, social media, Luke texted me while we were trying to put together the early highlights. He was like, "Ooh, I regret to inform you, Anthony Edwards locked in tonight." And I said, "Well, I regret to inform him, John Morant locked the F in tonight." They were going back and forth, and then Desmond Bane catches fire, and he's 6 of 6 from 3 in the first half. And you look, and the Grizzlies are shooting over 70% from the field, and you think, it's a little worrisome that the Grizzlies are shooting over 70% from the field and only lead by 5 points. But you could also counter on the other side. Like, Anthony Edwards had an absolute monster of a first half, and the Timberwolves only trailed by 5 points. So then you open up the third, and it devolved so quickly. A 19-3 run to open it. Jaren picks up his 4th foul fairly early, and that 4th foul from Jaren is immediately followed by the Grizzlies' second delay of game warning, so they get a tech for it. Lamar Stevens was trying to come into the game. He still had his warm-ups on, so they get a technical foul. It results in one of 2 4-point possessions for the Timberwolves in that third quarter. A third quarter that, again, the Grizzlies give up 52 points. Jaren picks up his 4th. Zach Edey picked up his 4th. When they're on the court, they can't contest anything. When they're off the court, the Grizzlies lose any semblance of defense that they were able to put together against the Timberwolves. It was not good, CJ. It was in a must-win game. It was a pretty disappointing way to come out of the half.
Okay. What did you people expect to happen when Jaren picked up the 4th foul? Not only did Jaren pick up the 4th foul, Zach Edey picked up the 4th foul as well. I don't understand why we think that this isn't going to be the result when these things happen. And you brought up, I figured we'd start with the third quarter because it was so jarring, 52 points in the quarter. I looked up the first 5.5 minutes of that game. Timberwolves had 24 points. It's like, yo, they're going to go for 50 in this quarter. And the game slowed down a bit. The defense, I don't want to say the defense picked up for the Grizzlies because I don't think the defense can pick up for the Grizzlies.
I don't think it ever started for the Grizzlies last night.
Right, so I think the Timberwolves just started missing some shots. But it felt like, okay, if this game is going to be won, somebody's going to have to put up 150. And the other one's going to have to try and keep it close, put up 145 or something like that. And the Grizzlies, unfortunately, offensively just weren't able to keep pace because Jaren sat down with 4 fouls immediately into the third quarter. He picked up a ticky-tack foul in the second quarter. He picked up 2 fouls with like 2 minutes left in the second quarter. It was like, hey, Jaren, you foul way too much to be doing those types of fouls. A normal NBA player, Anthony Edwards, is alone on the break, and you're trying to stop momentum from being had by the Timberwolves. Cool, I get it. A normal NBA player, go ahead and have yourself a time and get you a foul in. Jaren, you need every single foul you can get. You don't get the opportunity to take fouls. So he picked that one up, and then he picked another one up, I think on an offensive rebounding or something like that. One where it's like, I appreciate the effort, but right there, no, you don't need to be doing that because you're Jaren and you're known to pick up fouls. So we picked up those 2 fouls going into the half and coming out of the half. Picked up one on a smart play by Anthony Edwards. We talked about Florida and Houston earlier this week and the difference in the officiating once Florida started going into Houston's contact. Anthony Edwards saw Jaren there, said, hey, contact is going to be created, I will not shy away from it. I will not try and hang and finish underneath him. I will not try and finish around him. I'm going to go up through him, and got the foul call for Jaren's fourth. And then he goes and sits down. And then from there, defensively, what do you want? What can they do?
That's the thing.
What can they do?
I would think the biggest, and to go back to the they are who they are sentiment, that's how they're constructed. And there was obviously the big conversation going into last night's game, who's going to replace Jalen Wells in the starting lineup? It doesn't matter. Of all the options, it doesn't matter. Vince Williams Jr. was the answer, and then ultimately we don't see Vince Williams Jr. In the second half of that game. He only plays 18 minutes. I am curious if that was something that was already scheduled, like he wasn't going to play in the second half, because we haven't seen Vince Williams Jr. play a back-to-back this season. And as mentioned, the Grizzlies now have to play the Nuggets. I don't really care, because whether it was Vince Williams Jr. or the fact that we are seeing a lineup featuring John Conchar and Lamar Stevens in a must-win game here on April 10th, those are your options. Or you're throwing Santi Aldama into the mix, who could give you something offensively. He doesn't last night. And if he's not giving you something offensively, he's not giving you anything, because defensively, it's a huge drop-off. There's just not the personnel necessary to play good defense with this team. That's just the fact of the matter. That is a simple fact for what this team is facing right now. And as you start going through the motion, Drake, if Jalen Wells is out, who is your best point of attack defender? Give me the answer.
Jalen Wells wasn't that good either.
No, but Jalen Wells, he's a rookie. And I always clarify, I think the world of Jalen Wells. I think his ceiling is very high. He's a rookie. He wasn't a negative. And if that's your bar, and the fact that we can't definitively say, okay, there's somebody there who can match that same level, that's a problem. It's a big problem.
It's been a problem all year.
Yeah.
I don't, after seeing what has transpired with some Grizzlies players this season, after they're young and they had, eye-popping success, like noticeable success last season, and the expectations were there for them, Vince, right? Was there for, hey, once Vince gets back. And then seeing the way that either they didn't take the next step, or that first step was a false step. We got way too excited about things we shouldn't have been getting excited about. I've decided to, unfortunately, play wet blanket. They were giving up big quarters with Jalen Wells on the court defense.
That's why I pointed out all the history. Like one of those top 25 ones was in January.
So say that to say, like, Jalen Wells is a rookie and maybe there's something there. Maybe. Sure. But even with them, they were abysmal defensively. And you're saying he wasn't a net negative. I'm saying everybody on this team defensively is a net negative, and they've been a net negative all season long. There's been no hope for this defense.
Right. That's why they're 16 and 25 against above 500 teams.
They're going into the playoffs. I think they'll be the worst, maybe second worst defensive team in this year's postseason. If they make it to the playoffs, certainly they'll be one of the worst defenses in the playoffs. They just aren't good, and it's everybody. And Zach Edey is out there, and teams are just targeting him. They're saying, hey, Zach, and it's the right thing to do, because he's not fleet of foot. You don't want him out there on the perimeter trying to hedge and recover, because he takes too long. You don't want him out there switching onto perimeter players, because they'll go by him or they'll elevate and make shots over him. Hey, Zach, you got to drop back into drop coverage. Okay, who's going to get over those screens now? Who? They hit screens and they die. Yeah. They stop moving once they hit screens. Some of that is, hey, Rudy Gobert sets really good screens. All right, like he does a lot of goofy stuff, a lot of annoying stuff. Rudy Gobert knows how to set a screen. He sets really good screens to free dudes up. So if you're Vince or you're Ja or you're Dez or you're anybody on the perimeter, it's hard for you to fight over that screen, and Zach Edey's too far back in the paint because you don't want him out there on the perimeter. What happens? Let's elevate and make wide open threes all damn game, right? Like
or because of getting in foul trouble, even when Zach Edey's able to get out on someone like, I remember one play in the third quarter, he's on Julius Randle. He has a full hand in his face. He can't do anything because he can't pick up another foul. So even when he's in the right position, then you're already in a situation where you can't give any kind of pressure. I was cautiously optimistic because you know me, eternal optimist in 2025, but cautiously optimistic coming off of the road trip where they win 3 in a row, but you look at a game winner against the Miami Heat, and it was great. It was an awesome jaw performance. It was an awesome jaw moment, and it was good to just see this team get a win. Then they beat the Pistons. Pistons don't have Jalen Duren, but still, it was their first win over an above 500 team since February 2nd, so it was worth something. And then you beat the Hornets. And in the middle of all of that is this surge of good Zach Edey play. But when you look at the bigs that he was going up against, there was some concern, okay, how is it going to look against a team like the Timberwolves that not only has Rudy Gobert, but the versatility they have by being able to throw out somebody like a Naz Reid. It just creates a matchup hell for Zach Edey. And we saw him revert back into some of the these past 6 game tendencies.
I don't think, I get what you're saying about the bigs, but that's not where you can get Edey. You get Edey on the switch.
Yeah.
And so you're naming teams, and you tell me the best perimeter player on those teams when the Grizzlies played them. And if you can't tell me like an all-star, let alone Anthony Edwards, all-NBA type of player, then you're fine with Edey. But if you're playing the Warriors and they decide, okay, let's do these dribble handoffs to get Steph Curry the ball using Zach Edey's man, that's buckets. If you're playing the Minnesota Timberwolves, hey, let's set ball screens. Whoever Edey's guarding, set the ball screen. He's going to be dropped in drop coverage. Buckets, right? If you're playing Sacramento Kings, they decide, you know what? Whoever Edey's guarding, DeMar, we're going to pitch you in handoffs. We're going to pitch you in pick and rolls. Levine as well. We're going to do that. Let's see if Edey can get out there and contest and contain. And he can't. All of these teams have somebody on the perimeter. Jamal Murray, right? All of these teams have people. LeBron James, Luka Doncic. They all have people on the perimeter who they just need that much space.
Clippers with Zubats and anyone. Pick your poison.
Anyone on the perimeter. Like if Edey can't get out there to contain or contest on the perimeter, you're putting your defense in a really precarious situation. Not only can he not do that, then it becomes, okay, even if I fight over the screen, swing, where's the rotation coming from? Because Edey can't go from the paint to the corner. He can't. So, like, what does that mean? Now we're giving up open corner threes. So it's hard. This team is going to have to, been saying this since February, they're going to have to lean more on the 3 main people, and they're going to have to pick up the slack defensively. There were moments in that game where Ja defended Anthony Edwards. Not going to say that it always ended well, but if that's how if you're going to go out, you may as well go out with your best player on their best player and just see where the chips fall. Somebody who's got the playoff experience, somebody who is a veteran, somebody who's out there, who's lived it, who's done it, go ahead and go out there swinging. So Ja, Dez, one of y'all got to pick up the best dude on the perimeter while also scoring 35 to 40 points in a playoff series per game, right? Somebody on this team is going to have to be spectacular. Somebody on this team is going to have to be amazing. And I think the people who are most likely to do that are the people making all the money, and that's Ja, Jaren, Dez. I don't want to bank on Edey. I don't want to bank on Santi. I don't want to bank on any of these other dudes to go out there and be incredible. I'll bank on the all-stars and the dude who's close to all-star level, right? Those are the 3. They combined for 80 points last night, and really, really good. They got to combine for 100. I don't know.
Well, that's all we have left.
They've got to go out there, somebody go for 40, and the other 2 go for 30 to get them to 100.
If your 4th most important player is Zach Edey, it just means that you have to rest even more on your big 3. Or if your 4th most important player is Santi Aldama, and he can't have 5 points off the bench. That's the thing, too. The bench unit gets outscored 35 to 26 last night. And I get it with the big 3 almost combining for 80 points, or I think they had more than 80 when it's 36, 28, 23.
I think 87.
Do the math. 87, close to 90. 36 plus 28.
That's 4 carried on 1.
That's 64. 64 plus 23.
Yeah,
that's 87.
Yeah.
So closer to 90 than to 80.
Got to go for 100.
You got to go for 100.
They got to go for 100.
Because then on the other side, sure, there's always the argument of, well, their player just caught fire early and was having one of those kind of nights. And that is partially the case for Anthony Edwards. I mean, he was taking advantage of if the Grizzlies gave him any space coming off those screens in the first quarter, he was hitting the threes in their face. And to Ja's credit, he was matching the threes. Also, we don't get to talk about it as much because it happened in a loss, and it's not as fun when it's in a loss. The new Ja 3-point celebration here at home for the first time hit. It was perfect. The way the fans responded, they knew the assignment. The way the PA announcer yelled boom afterwards. And I will remind everybody that Mike Wallace shared on the Gary Parrish show yesterday, it is not a grenade celebration, according to Ja. It is him taking his words, throwing them out, and then blocking the haters on the other side. But if it were to mimic the other kind of celebration, the booms that were going throughout FedEx Forum last night was like straight comedy. It was one of my favorite. Bits are never fun when they come in such like a depressing loss in a must-win situation, but the bit was good. It was a good time until it wasn't in the third quarter and everything kind of unraveled quickly. You were in the stands last night.
Yeah. As long as there's no suspension or threat of suspension, knock yourself out. I think all of the 3-point celebrations are goofy. I remember Larry Johnson used to hit shots and throw up the L at the right angle, and then Mark Jackson got mad at that and started throwing up the cross after he hit big shots, right? Like, whatever you're doing to celebrate making a shot or a tackle, what have you, I couldn't care any less about. Just don't get suspended right now.
You should not get suspended for that. I heard, obviously I was in the arena, but I had multiple people.
Shout out to the commish.
Shout out to my dad. Shout out to my group chats. Sent me the halftime show from TNT last night where I get it. If it was after the game, after the third quarter, like between third and fourth quarter, if that's the conversation you wanted to have. But after that first half, that's what you're focusing on. You're focusing on Ja's celebration and making some dumb comment about Taylor Jenkins, and then you go on to the fact that the Clippers are better than both the Grizzlies and the Warriors. I don't know. I just thought it was just a bit of a bum halftime segment considering what we had watched in the first half. But they were critical of Ja during the grenade, and they're like, because of his history. I'm like, his history with what? With grenades? Again, history with throwing words and blocking the haters? There's not much history there. But as it pertains to a grenade throwing, like there is no history there. What are we doing? It has gotten so stupid. And I'm with you. As long as there is no more fine, no more suspension. If you want to take a fine, take a fine. But obviously, Ja being on the court is critical for this team. And lost in all of this is the fact that Ja Morant is playing some of the best consistent basketball that we've seen. That is what is so damn frustrating. One of the many frustrating things at this exact moment.
Frustrating for who are you frustrated with?
For the team, because it goes to waste. Even though Ja is playing at this level.
What are you frustrated about?
Well, sorry, this was mixing two things. Frustrated, one, that Ja is playing his best basketball of the season and people aren't really talking about it. Not just best basketball of the season, but back to playing at an elite level where you could make a case for one of the better stretches of his career.
Who are you frustrated with?
People who continue to hang on to the extracurriculars and refuse to also acknowledge the play that we are seeing on the court.
Not the person doing the extracurriculars.
It's a 3-point celebration. Everybody does one.
All of this could stop if he stopped trying to poke fun at the NBA. All of it would stop if he stopped doing that.
I think we're past the point where even if it stopped, I don't think it would stop the rest of it.
It would stop. It would stop.
We haven't even talked about the officiating from last night. Like,
some interesting things.
Many interesting things. First and foremost, like I'm not going to sit here and blame it on the officials, but when you talk about like this team is who it is, I don't think they're particularly liked by the officials, and that shouldn't be a thing, but of course it is. Like officials are humans, and biases come out in certain games, and I thought the Grizzlies were given a particularly soft whistle last night. That goes for the fouls on Jaren Jackson Jr., that goes for some of the fouls on Zach Edey, some of the lack of foul calls on those Desmond Bane drives to the basket, same as Ja, and you saw Ja got frustrated, and they were just waiting. They were just waiting to tee him up. And I feel like that's the life of the Grizzlies right now, is you are in a situation where, like John Goble last night gave big, like Chris Paul, Scott Foster vibes, only it's Goble versus the Grizzlies. And there is a reputation that has settled in. That's just a fact of watching.
You made the bid. Lay in it. You did it.
It's a messy bed to lay in.
Well, be more mature.
Fold the corners is what you're saying?
I don't know what to say about them. Like, be more mature. You can't do the things that you're doing and then get mad when the reactions are what the reaction is and turn around and like, what? What? Why is it what? Like, okay, all right, you did this. It was all sugar and sweets.
When was it all sugar and sweets?
3 or 4 years ago, when they were the young plucky team coming up. Like, oh my gosh, the Grizzlies got so much spunk, pizzazz, they got fight. Look at them. Expectations set in. Things you do now matter. Your success is weighed differently. You were playing with house money 3 or 4 years ago. Now you're playing with our money. Now everything you do matters. The expectation is for you to continue to progress and continue to grow, and you're not meeting that. Some might say. Some might say that. I wouldn't say it, but some might say you're not meeting that. And now it is, well, woe is me. Why does everybody mad at me? Why is everybody hating on me? Well, because you made this bid you've been doing this consistently your entire careers here. So, hey, do it. Make your bid. You did it, land it, overcome it. Rise up. Are you good enough to overcome it? We'll find out. I don't know. We'll find out. Maybe it doesn't have to be this year. You can overcome it next year or the year after that. But eventually it will be something you have to overcome, either here or somewhere else.
I know. That's the...
You'll have to overcome. So, hey, knock yourself out. I look forward to learning more about these men, their makeup mentally, and their strength on the inside. Because that's what this is. This is as big of a gut check time as any.
Yeah.
Like, this is from here, and it's been gut check since March, right? We're in April now. So since March till now, it's been gut check. And I want to see if anybody has, and they've shown in moments, they've got a little bit of fight to them. It's one thing to lose games and you're not trying and you don't care. And
That's
I don't
not the
feel like
case.
that is not the case.
That is not the
They
case.
are trying. They are doing their best. And all I've asked for the past 2 weeks is just that. Try, fight, compete. You're flawed. You're not going to be a good defensive team. But damn it, do your best on that side of the ball. I think everybody is doing their best. They just don't have it.
A beautiful sermon.
Do your best, man.
Pass the collection plate.
That's it. That's
Thank you,
all.
Reverend CJ.
No,
Do you do weddings? Are you going to take Chris's job?
Hell no. Get up there in front of those people. As much as I enjoyed it, we do way too much for the ceremony.
Agreed.
The ceremony shouldn't be more than 3 minutes. Ceremony should be a commercial break long. And then we get to the food, we get to the drinks, we get to the
You pay
party.
too much for that ceremony. There's got to be some juice to it.
Well, stop
you
paying
pay for the
ceremony.
space.
Stop it.
I know.
Pay just for the reception.
No, I agree. I think, like you were saying, the trying it's an encouraging thing to see, and they cut it to 10 in the fourth quarter. But unfortunately, because
one of those shots go in, one of
Right.
them goes in, and is okay. All right, we've got ourselves something interesting happening here because the Timberwolves are known to give away leads. They are known to fall apart in the fourth
literally
quarter.
just did it.
Like, all right, here we go.
They just did it. There was it was like 15, and there was a timeout, and there was some Jaden McDaniels wide open out of the timeout 3 that put him back 18. A lot of just big swings for the Timberwolves. Anyway, but point being, before we get to Lang Whitaker, because we do have to take a break, when you are trying hard, when you cannot blame it on lack of effort, that exposes everything else, because you can't just sit here and say they gave up. They went down 23 and they gave up. No, they tried. They tried their damn best to come back into the game. Unfortunately, it just shows they are not built to complete that comeback right now. We'll continue the conversation with Lang Whitaker on the other side. The Grizzlies now in 7th in the Western Conference standings. They're still ahead of the Timberwolves, even after last night's loss. We'll look at the scenarios going into the final 2 games of the regular season starting tonight against the Nuggets with Lang when we come back.
We touched on this earlier, the panel here, about what really has been the mainstay of the Grizzlies, and that's Jaren Jackson Jr. Trip has just been awesome.
He's posting guys up. He's stronger than he's ever been. He's physical, and he's scoring all type of ways.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizzbeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Can't wait. It's time to get it popping.
It's going to be crazy. The fans are going to be loud. We need just energy.
We're going to need, the form rocking. We're going to need, everybody in Memphis to be out there and come to support.
When the fans are good, we're good. Simple as that.
A Bane three. Yes, sir. Desmond Bane with ice water in his veins.
We'll ride the energy together.
Grammy, Academy, and Golden Globe award-winning superstar Mary J. Blige, live in Memphis. The For My Fans Tour, live at FedEx Forum Saturday, April 19th, with special guests Neo and Mario. Get tickets now at livenation.com. The iconic Mary J. Blige for one night only.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crazy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Grizzlies fans, dunks, dimes, and no looks are great on TV, but nothing compares to catching them IRL. And that starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight in person. From seeing your favorite Grizzly stars up close to hearing the squeak of the sneakers on the hardwood. Put that jersey collection to use and get tickets at Ticketmaster. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside, Memphis.
The new issue of Slam, the cover dropped, and it is our friend Jaron Jackson Jr. on the cover.
And shout out to you, Lane.
Yeah.
You kept, well, I mean, we knew about it, but you kept this a secret the whole time. So shout out to you for
I wrote
putting
this
this
story.
together.
We did the photo shoot a couple weeks ago here on a Sunday afternoon in the practice court. The Sneak Fest show, live Tuesdays at 2 p.m. on Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app. Grizz Nation gets set for tip-off 1 hour before every Grizzlies home game with the warm-up show. Get the latest news, notes, and analysis live from courtside at FedEx Forum.
Who's going to be the tougher team that rebounds and prevents second-chance opportunities?
Join me, Lang Whitaker, along with Michael Wallace, Jessica Benson, and other personalities from Grind City Media, Memphis, and around the NBA. 1 hour before every home game, live at Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
All right, welcome back. It's Friday. That means it's time for Lang Whitaker to join us in studio. Lang, happy Friday.
You all right?
Yeah, are you all right?
Yeah.
All right.
The first segment you did was as long as one of the warm-up show segments.
Felt like it.
Yeah.
You guys went long, too. We're all just worried
we ended at the right time, but we ended up taking half as many breaks as we were supposed to have. Yeah.
It happens. 'Tis the end of the season. Lots of stuff to talk about. When you woke up this morning, what were you thinking about from last night's loss?
I was thinking about the Braves winning.
Oh, congrats.
It was there was a rain delay during the Braves-Phillies, and it lasted the entire Grizzlies game. And as I left, I was upset about the Grizzlies losing, and I got in my car, and I was like, I wonder if the Braves, what did they do? And I turned on the radio, and they were starting the 10th inning. I got home in time to watch the 11th inning. The Braves hit a walk-off home run in the bottom of the 11th. So I actually went to sleep on a high note.
Oh, that's good. I actually went to sleep on a high note too. I did some Masters catch-up last night. I took a great Masters nap yesterday afternoon, which is one of my top-tier sports naps of all the sporting events.
Yeah, we were talking about this yesterday in the office because I think soccer might be a better sports nap because there's the Masters is great too. But
the crowd eruption at soccer for a goal is more jarring than anything that happens.
Yeah, but it only happens like once a match.
Yeah, but then you missed it.
The Masters, even though it's minimized, it still has commercial breaks. So every once in a while, you might be sleeping, then you hear, Cadillac with the new whatever. So I prefer, and another one that's sort of underrated is tennis.
Yeah, tennis is very
a lot of
meditative.
squeaking and there's a lot of quiet. So I have this idea. I'm going to say it out loud now, which means I copyrighted it.
You've said it before.
Yeah. You think
I
it's a
already
good
know your
idea?
idea. It's a great idea.
Yeah. So
It's a sports noise machine.
Yeah, like white noise
Yes.
of these sports. But
But you
golf
can
is
pick your
pretty
sport.
great. Yeah.
Because golf also has the outdoors element to it, so occasionally you get
Yeah,
like a bird
birds.
chirping.
Well, at
just
Augusta,
the
they have
sound
the
of
fake-
the wind.
the fake birds
right,
chirping,
all
allegedly.
Of that. But I will say my two favorite stories from day one at Augusta, and they're bookended by one of the oldest people playing and one of the youngest people playing.
Yeah.
The oldest being Fred Couples,
Yeah.
who now has the most years between his last round where he shot under par, which was in 1983, and then he shoots under par yesterday. He's at 1 under. He had a better round than Rory McIlroy. He had a better round than all but 10 golfers in front of him, and he is 65 years old. And his hole out on the Eagle on 14 was awesome.
Yeah.
It was just one of those like, oh, I love.
Hit a 7-wood,
Yep.
which is like no one has a 7-wood.
So I'll be rooting for him to make the cut.
Yeah.
And then on the flip side of that, my second favorite story is the amateur playing from Arizona State. He's from Spain.
The kid who peed in the river? Yeah.
Jose Luis Ballester. He already had people fuming because he shows up in this hat, which has an upside down Sun Devils logo because he plays at Arizona State. And, you know, the big golf people are like, how dare he wear an upside down logo at the Masters? And then he one-upped it and he peed in Rays Creek.
Yeah.
He had to go. He forgot. He said afterwards, like, I forgot that there were bathrooms available next to the tee box. I had to go. I'd do it again. He was unapologetic in peeing in Rays Creek.
This man will not be invited back to participate in the Masters.
Hope he enjoys his one and only trip at Augusta. I just wish, like, I enjoy this.
What?
Making it all a little less serious.
Yeah.
And I get it, of anything in the golf world, the Masters still holds the most
Gravitas.
tradition and gravitas,
Yes.
and you can't even have a phone at the Masters. You got to bring
It
your
does. I
your
know.
little Polaroid camera to the mix. But it was pretty funny that this dude just peed in the river.
Well, he's never coming back. I hope he had a good pee.
I hope he
'Cause
had
that's
fun.
it.
I hope he had a
Also,
good
the upside
time.
down hat thing, as someone pointed out recently, you know, those kind of started people in Dallas wearing those a couple of
Really?
years ago. Yeah. And it's all been downhill for Dallas since people started wearing those upside down hats. So I think there might be something to that. Like I'm anti the upside down hat thing.
Well, let's make sure the Grizzlies don't wear upside down hats because they can't risk any further vibe plummeting at this point in the year. They're in 7th after last night's loss to the
Yes.
Timberwolves. We do continue to eye what these Western Conference playoffs will look like by the time the season ends after every team plays on
Could
Sunday.
the Timberwolves have an easier schedule?
No, could anybody have an easier schedule? I
Not
mean, at
than-
least the
not than
Warriors and the
Timberwolves.
Clippers play each
They
other.
played the friggin' Jazz and the Nets.
But I will say,
That's not. Wait. Can we put respect on the Nets?
the two-time
They beat the Grizzlies
two-time winners
twice
over
this
the
year,
Grizzlies.
Lane. What do
I
you
know.
mean? They're nobodies.
That speaks more about the Grizzlies than it does the Nets,
Truth.
I think.
I will say the reminder from the Warriors losing to the Spurs the other night,
Yeah.
even the Timberwolves lost to the Bucks where they're up 23. Like, weird stuff happens this time of year. And so perhaps some sort of surprising outcome takes place. The Warriors played the Trailblazers tonight. What if they lost 2 in a row?
Oh, I looked.
What
The
if?
Trailblazers won 3 of their last 5, but it lost 4 in a row before that. So
And who did
I
they
mean,
who did they beat before that 4-game losing streak?
I don't know.
The Memphis Grizzlies.
Oh yeah, they had won 4 in a row before that.
Yes.
I also looked at like who's not playing for these teams, who is playing for these
Right.
teams. You know, we're at the point where the teams that are trying to lose are really trying to lose.
Yes.
Like they are fighting the same way we're fighting for wins. They're fighting for losses.
Well, also the teams that are resting for the playoffs too. Like
Sure.
you have the Nuggets, who the Grizzlies play tonight, and who at this point in time are a game ahead of the. So it's Lakers in 3rd. They're a game ahead of the Nuggets and the Clippers, who are in 4th and 5th. And then you have Warriors, Grizzlies, Timberwolves, all
Yeah.
with identical records at 6, 7, 8. The Nuggets play the Rockets for
Yeah.
the last game of the season.
Who've been
The
sitting
Rockets
guys.
just sat everybody
Yeah.
against the Clippers. So it really does turn into a.
Yeah.
Like you have to take it on a game
I mean,
by
the only
game.
way I think is, and I don't have it in front of me, but some of these teams might want to affect these other teams to get a better playoff matchup, right? Like
Yeah.
you might want to make sure the Lakers get a loss so they stay in 3rd instead of being able to go to 2nd, which I don't think they can anyway. But
No, they're out of 2nd.
Yeah.
The two clinched are Thunder and Rockets.
Thunder and the Rockets. So I that's going to matter too. The Pelicans, I think, sat 11 people last night, which is like crazy. And I know they have some legitimate injuries, but I'm pretty sure some of those other guys could probably go if they needed to. They're trying to lose. So some of these teams are trying to lose.
I'll give you
trying to win.
$100 if you can tell me who the leading scorer for the New Orleans Pelicans was last night.
Jose Alvarado.
No,
I don't
he
know.
didn't play.
Yeah, I don't know.
former Memphis Tiger, Lester Quinones.
Oh.
21 points off the bench
Good for him.
the good
They
old
lost,
New Orleans.
correct?
Jamal Cain had 20.
What was the
and,
score?
Keon Brooks had 20. They lost 136 to 111
Yeah.
to the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the Grizzlies have put themselves in this position. Right? I have
Yeah.
no one to blame but themselves. You can look at a variety of times.
Yeah.
The 2 losses to the Nets early on in the season sure would be great to have those. One of the 3 final moment buzzer beater-esque losses here on the home court. One of the losses to the Trailblazers or the Kings to
Yeah.
start that West Coast road trip. But it is what it is. And this is the position that they're in. It does feel as if they have to beat the Nuggets tonight. I don't know if it's the mathematical truth, but it feels like it should be
It's
in
like
order to avoid
you
the
gotta win every
play-in.
game. Like this
Right.
is where you got to win every game. Like,
That's how we felt last
they
night,
Felt it last
too.
night, yeah. And they should win tonight, and they got to win Sunday. I mean, the thing is, if you lose these games, you're not out of the playoffs. At least, like you're in the play-in. You know, you got something when
Right.
the season ends, which is better than like if you lose these 2 games and you're just totally over. You know, so. There's a little bit of a silver lining, a glimmer of a silver lining. That sounds like a song from Wicked, but I don't think it is. But I think the Grizzlies, you would know.
It's not Wicked, but
Here we
there
go.
is there's a song from a Broadway musical called "Look for the Silver Lining."
Yeah.
I feel like from way back when.
There's a Monty Python one. Always look for the bright side of life too.
Don't get me started on one of my favorite classic hits.
Yes.
Always look on
I didn't
the
mean
bright
to.
side. Yeah, that was a problem. Now you know what Chris has to deal with all the time.
So anyway, I think there's a little bit of like it's not like completely dire if you lose these 2 games, but
It feels dire.
I would like winning is what you need to do. Like winning is the point of this whole thing. The whole enterprise is set up because we're supposed to win games.
Yeah.
And so like more than ever, these 2 games we got to win.
Don't you feel? So if the season had ended today,
Yeah.
it would be Grizzlies Timberwolves right back in this building.
Yeah.
What would be your confidence level in that matchup?
You know, I'm pretty good. Like we've beaten them twice this season. They had the best quarter they've had all season
Right.
in that third
Of
quarter.
any team's had all season.
Yeah, like it was unbelievable. And it wasn't like they were getting open shots. Like they were, we put up 125 points against them and played them pretty well in that third quarter. They were making everything.
Some were open, but I do agree. Like some
Yeah.
of the shots that Julius Randle made last night, he doesn't make those
No.
9 out of 10 games.
There's
They were
also
tough.
that their offense is weird. There was a play in the second quarter where Julius Randle caught it in the post and he had Scottie Pippen on him. Huge size mismatch. Julius Randle's 5 feet from the basket. Turn around, back him down, barbecue chicken, you score.
Right.
He threw it back out. And threw it to Naz Reid to shoot a 3 from 5 feet behind the line.
Yes.
And I'm like, what? There's certain things like non-serious teams do, and that seems like one of them right there. So I feel pretty good if we had to play the Timberwolves again. I think that was the first time we'd lost to them in a couple of years, or the first time they'd won here since Ja was on the team, I think. So I wouldn't mind having to play the Timberwolves.
Yes. I wouldn't mind having to play them in that playoff game, the play-in game. But the unfortunate nature of it is if you fall into the play-in tournament, your best case scenario is playing the Houston Rockets, and your worst case scenario would be losing that for, well, I guess there's actually 2 worst case scenarios. There's a worst and a worst, because I'm saying like you would lose the first game, then win the second and play the Oklahoma City Thunder. But then the worst is you're just out, and then you don't have a first round playoff matchup. But so many people have identified this Rockets team as like, oh, I think it'd be good because they don't have.
Well, instead of playing the Thunder, yeah.
Yes, true.
I mean, what
but
do you
it's
want?
not as if you wouldn't be matchup hunting the Rockets. I think there's an unfair. I think there's an unfair connection with Houston and their lack of playoff experience, and somehow believing that is going to be this big impactor, especially early on. One, your coach has a hell of a lot of playoff experience.
Yeah.
2, they're not their stars. Like Jalen Green doesn't have playoff experience.
Sure.
Alperen Şengün doesn't have playoff experience. You know who does? Dylan Brooks. You know who does? Steven Adams. Like there is experience.
Well, if you're
cooked
going with
into
those
that
guys'
roster.
playoff experience, so does Jaren Jackson. So
They
does
have the
Desmond
same.
Bane.
So yes,
Yeah, it's
exactly.
the same. I would say though that if I had to pick between the 2, I'd rather play the Rockets than the Thunder. And and I also think just looking at it from an outside view, like the Rockets have been at their best these last few weeks, last 2 months. But especially the last few weeks, they went to this 2 big lineup where they're starting Steven Adams with Şengün, putting him at the 4. We have a giant guy we can start at the 5.
and a pretty good power forward, we can start at the 4. So, I mean, if I have to look at a matchup, I would say that's probably more favorable than the Thunder, who have, a million players you've never heard of who shoot threes and play defense and just play hard. I mean, if of the 2 matchups, I would say that's a better matchup.
Picking the lesser of 2 evils.
Yeah.
What do you make of the drop-off of Jaren post All-Star break?
Yeah.
Because it was like when Victor Wembanyama got hurt, Jaren Jackson Jr. became the front runner to win Defensive Player of the Year. And so much of the conversation all year was he's putting together an all-NBA season.
Yeah.
And then he got hurt, and then he came back, and he hasn't been the same. The foul issues have crept back in, which I know is very frustrating for those of us who watched the first half of the season with Jaren Jackson Jr. But all this has done is drilled in old habits, old narratives, the just stigma that is around Jaren. Where do you see the difference?
I think it's notable that it's all been since he got hurt.
Right.
And, he came back pretty quick from what looked like a severe ankle injury. Vince Williams also, since he got hurt in return, hasn't quite been what he was previous to the ankle injury. But with Jaren, I think there's got to be some connection to that. Also, look, Ja came back around that time, and Ja has the ball a lot. Jaren used to kind of be there was a lot of times they were kind of using Jaren as the point forward. He was bringing the ball up the court and just ISOing against guys. But yeah, the foul trouble has been a thing. I think he's probably not as healthy as he was before the ankle injury. I think you got to give him credit for trying. You know, like a lot of guys would sit probably. So it's probably all a little. It's not like there's usually not one.
It also feels like an increasing, or maybe the better word is like a decreasing trust in the rest of the team defensively, and some of the like overhelping nature of Jaren. We talked, when they draft Zach Edey, the whole point is that there's somebody down low who allows Jaren to operate in his best version of himself, which is free safety. And instead, now Jaren is having to help all the time. And even that first foul in the fourth quarter, that's what made me think of it last night, was he had no reason to try to swipe at Naz Reid.
Yeah.
And he knows
almost
better
all his
than
fouls
that.
are swiping.
Yes.
And they had the 2 at the end of the first half last night. They kind of set him up for.
They feel like desperation fouls.
Yeah.
They feel like I'm behind and I'm trying to make up for the lack of everything else, but I cannot do it by myself. I'm not trying to say like, I'm Jaren, I'm here to save the day. No, it's just the nature of how things are kind of spiraling. As the team defense has spiraled, Jaren hasn't been able to elevate even his own solo
But also,
defense.
yes, he playing with Zach Edey would be helpful for Jaren, but Zach Edey's been in worse foul trouble than Jaren has most games. So I would bet the minutes they've played together, I don't have that in front of me, is probably not as high as you would suspect for a starting center and a starting power forward. Because the foul trouble keeps them from being on the court at the same time.
Now without Brandon Clark, you don't have. that was so
another thing, yeah. And without Jalen Wells now, also you're talking about overhelping, from Jaren, the guards have been overhelping for all season long. Yes. That's been my killer thing is why are we helping to the free throw line from the wing and giving wide open 3-pointers from the wing? Been doing it all season. People have been killing us. They've kind of cut down on that the last couple of weeks, but that was also putting the Grizzlies in a weird situation where Jaren you saw him running out to try to defend 3-pointers. It's kind of hard to guard the 3-point line and block shots.
Is this defense fixable at all?
Desmond
Bane was asked about it after the game last night, and what do you think he's going to say?
Yeah.
No, there's 2 games left in the regular season. He's going to stare in the camera and say, "No, you know what? Actually, I think we're absolutely screwed defensively for the rest of this go around."
I think it's fixable if you get different players. If you go out and get 3 Defensive Player of the Year candidates.
Do you think we'll see Vince Williams Jr. back in the starting lineup tonight?
I think so. But I bet you'll see also coming off the bench Kennard instead of last night because he didn't play. Yeah, I think it's probably just a matchup thing last night, and I wouldn't be surprised if you see him out there tonight. And also, he has fresh legs. That's a difference in this team from last night to tonight. You're going the second half of back-to-back, you need the legs. I wouldn't be surprised if Jay Huff played tonight, too. He got in garbage time last night, but...
Saddest Yuki Kawamura minutes of the season.
I know.
Sad. Remember the days when a Yuki appearance brought such great joy?
There was still a roar when he checked in. Yeah, there were still people were still excited to see Yuki.
The people who were left.
Yeah, those of us.
Man, Fans wanted to be into it last night, and they started.
Well, they gave us a terrible start time.
Terrible start time, but like it was a must-win game. It's a big game. Good opponent.
People
I get
were into
that
it
it's
the
not.
first half.
People were into it in the first half, and so obviously people check out when you give up a 52-point third quarter.
Yeah.
That's a tough thing to stay engaged with. There were people filing for the exits with like 4 minutes left. The Grizzlies cut it to 10. I said, did you not just watch both Final Four games?
Des had that 3 to make it a 7-point game. He missed it, but he had an open 3 to cut it to 7 with like 3.5 minutes to play. And when he shot that, I was like, oh, we might be having something here. Also, I was thinking, the Timberwolves, they must be getting a little tight because they just blew this 24-point fourth quarter lead against the Bucks, their previous game. And all of a sudden they had this huge lead, and it's slowly getting whittled away. And you know, like there's some people on that bench who are like, oh, not again. We're not doing this again.
No, and I thought there were some really timely timeouts by Chris Finch. Like he was, we're not doing this again, and then really good alley timeout plays that allowed them to swing momentum back on their side. And Anthony Edwards was asked about it afterwards too, and he was like, I wasn't really concerned. It was more a matter of the foul trouble that both of them were in the bonus fairly early.
That's the other thing, that if we play them in the playoffs, we wouldn't hopefully not have the same refereeing crew. I mean,
no, they'll give them to us.
It was brutal. Like the fouls called, and at one point they had shot over twice as many free throws as we had attempted.
The foul calls
it's funny they
was
have such
not.
a big lead.
Yeah, it was like 14-11, but then the free throw discrepancy was massive.
And so, it always somehow magically evens out in most NBA games. And we shot more free throws in the fourth quarter, and it kind of closed the gap a little. But that's how they built. That was partly how they built. I mean, they also shot 18 for 21 from the field in that third quarter, but they were 9 for 10 from the free throw line.
There was one time in the third quarter where their only miss was on that sick Anthony Edwards putback dunk.
Yeah.
Like there was like 5 minutes left, and they had one miss, and it resulted in a great play from Anthony Edwards.
It's easy to be a hater too, but man, he had some awesome plays last night. Anthony Edwards, he was a dog. He had that one play where he put somebody in a spin move and hit a jumper, and you're like, oh, okay, all right.
He was on one. Like even with that dunk, I naturally just was like, whoa.
Yeah.
And then I looked around, and everyone was like,
yeah. It made me proud to be a Georgia Bulldog.
Well, there you go. You got something on. I will say, if we do see Luke Kennard tonight, and I don't see him shoot the ball in the first 2 minutes of him being on the court, I'm going to sincerely wonder what is going on with this situation. You do get a Nuggets team. They won their first game since firing Mike Malone and firing their general manager, Calvin Booth. Now there's all this conversation of, like, will Nikola Jokic seek a trade from the Denver Nuggets? Do you feel like that's the future?
We were talking about this on the warm-up show last night. Like, if you're the Nuggets, I think you try everything but trading Jokic. Like, you try trading Jamal Murray, you try trading Aaron Gordon.
Michael Porter Jr.
All those guys. Like, you try to figure out a way to kind of reboot everything. Like, why would you, even if Jokic comes to you and asks for a trade, I'd be like, all right, man, no, first of all. And two, we're going to try everything else. Like, who do you want us to get? We'll go get everybody else but them. I mean, they have trade pieces. Jamal Murray's got a new contract. And it's a contract like a lot of people are saying like it's a terrible contract. He's getting paid too much. I would also say that in the NBA, you just need one team. Like Shaq had that terrible contract toward the end of his career, and everybody's like, well, who would take Shaq at $30 million a year? And he got traded twice on that contract. You just got to find one team to make the right move. And I think you could find somebody for Jamal Murray. You could find somebody for all those other guys. It's just fit, timing, all that stuff. So if I'm the Nuggets, I do everything I can to hold on to Jokic and start looking into the others.
Do you have a confidence level for tonight's game?
No, I don't. I really don't know what to expect.
I don't either.
The thing with this Grizzlies team is they're so up and down. Like it's hard to know night to night.
Well, you could say up and down, but usually against above 500 teams, it's mostly been down. Mostly down.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, and the Nuggets, like, look, you're not talking about the Thunder here. Like they
fired their coach because they lost 4 games in a row and they were struggling to hold on. And they don't have Jamal Murray, and they are a different team when they don't have Jamal Murray.
Oh. From what I saw, they were thinking he's going to come back tonight.
That's disappointing. But you look at, Dez played 39 minutes, Jaren played 37, and Ja played 36. It was a heavy load.
And now we get to go to altitude.
That's the other piece of this. Yes. And you land, and for people who have never been to Denver, the airport is in the middle of nowhere. So they landed, I saw somebody post the flight track, they landed at 2:30. So then you have to get off the plane, get into cars, and then it's an hour trip into downtown. Yeah. So you are probably talking around after 3:30, 4 a.m. entrance into the hotel. Hope they
guess there's
sleep
no
long.
shoot
Hope they have
around.
blackout curtains
Yeah.
in this hotel. It should be a nice one. I would guess there's no shoot around as
Yeah.
well. You'll show up.
Maybe a little walkthrough before the game.
All right, Lang.
But here's the thing: like this feels
Yes.
like one of those games that there's no chance. Like everything's lined up against you.
Yeah.
In the NBA, this is the one that you're like, oh, okay, well maybe, like.
Let's get weird.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. And
Let's
that
get
might be it.
weird.
Yeah.
Let's do it again. We'll see how it goes.
It's actually an 8 o'clock start for us. It's
Right.
not terrible.
It's only a half hour
Yeah,
behind.
it's not like
start
when
of
we're on the
last
West
night's
Coast
game.
and those 9:30
Yes.
starts. Like
Yeah,
8
it'll be
o'clock
all right.
I can make on a Friday night.
We will see it on FanDuel TV later
gonna go
this
watch the
evening.
Masters.
Lang, enjoy the Masters.
Yes,
Do you have a pick?
I put some money on Morikawa and Rory, and I felt pretty good about both of them until Rory melted down at the end. Although I'm sort of glad he got out of his system now. So hopefully he turns it around. Fred Couples is amazing. If you've never watched golf, just watch his swing.
Yeah.
Like it's the most beautiful golf swing in the world. It's incredible the tempo he swings with, and it's sort of like the ideal for any golfer.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we are counting down to Smokeslam. It is almost May, which is one of the best months in Memphis. We were able to get us ready for River Beat Festival last week with DJ Zirk in studio. This week, we have 7-time World Barbecue Champion Melissa Cookston joining us, along with rising Memphis native singer Cyrena Wages. Both will be involved in Smokeslam coming up next month. We'll catch up with them when we come back.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, one exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season. Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Shinedown. Dance Kid Dance Tour. Live in Memphis. FedEx Forum, Saturday, August 30th. With special guests, Bush and Morgan Wade. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Shinedown, live in concert. For more, visit shinedown.com.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
The new issue of Slam, the cover dropped, and it is our friend Jaron Jackson Jr. on the cover.
And shout out to you, Lane.
Yeah.
You kept. Well, I mean, we knew about it, but you kept this a secret the whole time. So shout out to you for
I wrote
putting
this story.
together.
We did the photo shoot a couple weeks ago here on a Sunday afternoon in the practice court. The Sneak Fest show, live Tuesdays at 2 p.m. on Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
Debo traded from San Francisco to the Commanders for a 5th-round pick. There's no other sport where you would get a player of his ilk for a 5th-round pick.
Over under total yards for Debo. If they set it at 1,000, you think he hits that over?
Total yards?
Total yards from scrimmage. Total yards.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
In honor of George Foreman, decided to do a pick 6 on 6 greatest heavyweight boxers of all time.
Number 4.
my God, Mike Tyson. There is no greater feat that I've had. Like if I had my Mount Rushmore of things that I've accomplished in my life, the very first time I beat Mike Tyson in Mike Tyson Punch-Out.
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
Welcome back. Smokeslam returns to Tom Lee Park May 15th through 17th. Second year it will take over the river downtown. Largest purse in barbecue competition history at $250,000. And I am so excited to be joined by, I'm going to call you a barbecue legend around these parts, Melissa Cookston, 7-time barbecue champion, owner of Memphis Barbecue Company. When I first moved to Memphis and was trying to learn the barbecue scene, I remember feeling like, you got to go to Memphis Barbecue Company. So alas, I did, and now you're here in studio. Thanks for joining us, Melissa.
Thanks for having me.
This is the second year of Smokeslam, and you are heavily involved in this year's festivities. What are you most excited for as we gear up for another one down on the river?
Well, my excitement stems around the foundation that I started, the World Junior Barbecue League. So we have a lot of teenagers competing down on the river this year. And I really enjoy working with the kids. I actually retired from competition barbecue a couple of years ago just because the foundation's taken me around the world. I was in the Caymans last week cooking with kids.
Okay, so explain. This is your foundation, World Junior Barbecue League. Like you mentioned, they're competing this year, but how did this get started? Where did this become such a passion project for you?
A major network asked me to go to Texas to judge the state high school barbecue championship. And I had a lot of teenagers working for me at the time, so I wasn't really excited about that. But I went. And what I realized quickly was that these teens were learning core values, life skills, getting off the video games, the social media, out cooking.
Yeah.
So I was so impressed by these teens. And I think it's such an impressionable age. You get them right before they go to college or go in the workforce. And, I've never looked back. That's been 5 years ago.
When did you first start cooking?
I started cooking, I guess, about 30 years ago. I've been in the restaurant business 44 years.
Okay.
I'm old.
So you were in the restaurant business before you actually started cooking yourself?
I didn't start cooking barbecue until I met my husband.
Wow. Tell me that story.
Oh, Lord. So on one of our first dates, he took me to a barbecue competition, and it really appealed to my junky, competitive nature and my love of barbecue. And I was like, I think I can do this. And so I did.
And the rest is history. Did you have a first thing that you were cooking? Like, what was your foray into it all?
Well, I wanted to be the best at whatever was the hardest, which is whole hog.
Okay.
So that's what I've won my world championships in, and I just have a passion for that whole cut instead of just cooking shoulders or butts or ribs.
So when you're in the Cayman Islands with the kids, what are they cooking?
They are cooking 4 different categories. They're cooking brisket, ribs, pork, and chicken.
And will that be the same at Smokeslam?
Yes, ma'am. And we have a $25,000 purse just for the teens at Smokeslam. So if you know anybody that's 14 to 18 that wants to get involved, then go to worldjuniorbarbecueleague.com.
Feels like the barbecue cooking space is in good hands if there are so many young people that are interested in it. You talk about the life skills that can be developed. Listen, I am no cook and never was, probably never will be at this point, but I will say never too late for anything.
Nope.
But just what do you see from a standpoint of kids being able to get involved in this and how it can create so many different avenues? Yes, you can continue to cook, you can win money in various cooking competitions, but also the skills that transfer to other parts of the working industry too.
Oh yeah, I mean, number one, they learn communication skills. They learn work ethic. They learn how to work around each other, which is not always so easy because typically you have 1 to 5 kids per team. And if you have a 5-person team, somebody is going to emerge as the leader of that team. But just to see how they grow from when they come into the foundation at 14, the growth from 14 to 18 when they age out is, it's miraculous, And some of them go into the culinary field.
You are officially a Smokeslam All-Star spokesperson. That's how they define you. But this is the second year of this festival, and barbecue is just such a huge part of this city. And being able to go to Smokeslam for the first time last year, what struck me was just the entirety of the experience, from the music to the Ferris wheel to the carnival games, to also having the opportunity where even if you don't know somebody at Smokeslam competing, you can still eat. Because that's what I hear often. Like when I first moved here, I was blind as a bat going into my first time down on the river trying to experience a barbecue festival, and I was like, I don't know anyone, I can't eat. What Smokeslam does is it samples galore, and I know it's even an expanded situation this year. Just how fun is that, where you're able to see from someone who cares about this so much, people actually get to eat the meat?
I was raised in the Mississippi Delta. The land is so rich, the artwork's so colorful, and that's really what I wanted my barbecue to emanate. And there's nothing like rolling smoke on the Mississippi River. There's nothing like it. And to be able to go down there and eat and visit with people that you've seen on TV and get tips and tricks, and that to me, I mean, if I could ride a Ferris wheel at a barbecue contest, I'm there. I'm eating, I'm having fun. The live music is going to be fantastic. Great lineup this year. So, what's not to love about that?
Yeah, it's just a really fun, all-encompassing thing. And the smoke over the river, like if you've never experienced it for yourself, the smell hits you the second you're downtown, and it's like a moth to the barbecue smell flame. You just want to get down there.
It's an experience.
Yeah.
It's all-encompassing of who we are and what we do, and the fact that Memphis-style barbecue is the best in the world.
Do you still believe that?
Absolutely, and I can tell you my whole theory behind it.
I would love to know your whole theory behind it.
There are 4 major regions of barbecue in the U.S., which is the Carolinas, Memphis, Kansas City, and Texas. North Carolina is vinegary. Kansas City is sticky sweet. Texas, salt, pepper, maybe a little heat in the back. Well, not only do we split those regions geographically, but we pull all those flavor profiles. So Memphis style is really the only all flavor, hit every facet of your palate barbecue. In the culinary world, we're trying to do that with any kind of food. Mm-hmm. But when you can do it with smoked meats, I mean, come on, that's utopia.
I didn't know barbecue until I moved to Memphis. I'm very open with that. What I considered good barbecue has changed dramatically since I lived here. And it's so fun to see just the field continue to grow, the innovation behind it continue. And the thing about with Smokeslam is you also get people from all over the world. Oh, yeah. So then it's not just getting to experience the greatness of Memphis. Last year, for example, one of the groups involved in the tasting was from Argentina. And my husband and I were going on a trip to Argentina, and they stood around and talked with us for 45 minutes about everything that we should look out for. And we were able to go to places they recommended, and then you get their taste of everything too. And meats in Argentina, a whole different side of things. But that international blend makes this such a special experience.
Absolutely. There's every culture has some history of cooking with fire. And for me, that's been my second career, is traveling the world, understanding those different cultures and how they cook with fire. So it's so exciting to have all these people come down to Smokeslam in May.
I always ask people in the food industry, because nobody knows it better than you, what's the best thing you've eaten lately?
Well, I'm going to say crab cakes. I had some crab cakes with some remoulade that was fantastic. I'm not a picky eater. Okay. If somebody else will cook it for me, I'm pretty easy. I'm an easy judge. 10s all the way. Everybody gets a 10 from me. But those crab cakes were just full of lump crab meat. They didn't have a lot of fillers, and they were fantastic.
Where did you have them?
In the Caymans.
In the Caymans. So you're saying I can't get those crab cakes in Memphis?
Sure you can. I'll
That's
cook
okay.
them for you.
Okay, perfect. Sign me up. I'll say, just because I love supporting local businesses on the show, I ate at Hard Times for the first time. Have you heard of Hard Times Deli?
Yes.
It's new in the Pinch District. I had a bacon turkey ranch. Everybody should go get a sandwich at Hard Times. It was delightful.
Edge
CJ.
District.
Edge District. You know me, I can't get my districts. I just say over there. I point that direction, and that's where we're at. All right, as you mentioned, it's not just about the cooking down on the river. It is also about the entertainment. Huge music lineup this year. The Revivalists will be performing Big and Rich. I will be dancing to Save a Horse, Ride a Cowgirl. Also, we have one of the rising acts out of Memphis here who joins us now.
What's up?
How are you doing? This is
doing
Cyrena
great.
Wages. If you don't know her, you should Go listen to her first album. She has another album coming out soon. But you get to perform down at Smokeslam next month.
I do. I'm so excited. Yeah.
What did it mean to you to get this invite and to have the opportunity to perform here in Memphis?
Yeah, so I was actually flying home from Austin, Texas, where Mempho Fest had taken me down to play South by. And I was landing, and I got the email asking to play Smokeslam. So this is my first time to do one of the downtown Memphis, original festivals. So I'm super excited, super honored.
Now, where did you grow up exactly?
I grew up in Millington.
Okay.
Yeah, about 20 minutes north of where we are right now. So Memphis, but I gotta say Millington, my dad, gets very angry if I don't rep Millington, But yeah, North Shelby County, and so this is my home.
This is your home. You get to have an incredible time. I feel like if you're from Memphis, one of the seminal moments of a performer's existence is getting to play something down on the river. There's just nothing like it environment-wise.
I know, and I've wanted to my entire life. I've been showing up to all the festivals over the years since I was, 5 years old. So this is really cool. We're super excited.
Who have been some of the favorite people you've seen perform in Memphis?
Oh gosh, I mean,
big question, I know.
Yeah, huge question. My dad and I got to see John Prine perform downtown Memphis. I believe the Cannon Center a few years ago. I've seen Bonnie Raitt at the Orpheum not too long ago. So great artists that come through Memphis, but then also just there's a lot of great acts based here and that are from here as well. And so it's a hotbed of talent. There's never a dull night, you know.
When
people in the chat want to know with the Millington connection if you neighbors with Justin Timberlake's people, y'all get along, y'all know y'all do Sunday dinners and
yes,
things
he has no idea who I am, but I still have posters of him in my childhood bedroom where I kissed, put lipstick on and kissed his face.
Join the club.
He was my brother's age, and they would play basketball together, and I told everybody that story.
As you should.
Yeah, of course. I'm talking about it right now.
I mean, most people when you move to Memphis, everyone's like, oh, the home of Elvis, and I'm like, no, the home of Justin Timberlake. But then you move to Memphis, and they're like, well, actually, Justin Timberlake is from Millington. So the little NSYNC booklets never said Justin Timberlake from Millington, Tennessee. It was always from Memphis, Tennessee. So I get it.
And we have so I'm kind of right between Justin Timberlake and Al Green. So it's come on.
Growing up here, who were your biggest influences?
I mean, definitely those two right there. But my mom and my dad are huge music fans, and so my mom would play piano and sing, and she was very much into Patsy Cline and old country artists, and my dad was a huge Ann Peebles fan. So I grew up on Don Bryan, Ann Peebles, and all the Stax stuff, and that was just they never pushed me to be in music professionally, but they were just playing really great stuff all the time. In the car before church or whatever it is. So.
And you're just taking it all in.
Yeah, I took it all in.
Helping kind of form you. So if they didn't push you, how did you end up finding yourself in the professional music profession?
Yeah, I'm the youngest of 3 kids. I have 2 older brothers. And we all ended up in the arts. My poor parents, they're like, can't somebody get a real job?
Can someone be an engineer?
You hippies, get it together. But my oldest brother went off to school in New York and came home for acting, actually, and would come home at Christmas, and he'd really started writing songs then. And I watched him, and I watched that process of taking some kind of confusing emotion and putting it into something tangible that lives outside your body. And then the way his voice had this Memphis soul sound, but also this country crooner sound. And that whole process, I was just completely smitten with it, And then my next brother ended up kind of doing the same thing. And I think I just was really competitive, and I was like, move over, boys. I got this,
If they can do it.
Yeah, if they can do it. But yeah, I just, for better or for worse, if you're bitten by that bug, you got to do it.
Yeah. What was your big break?
I'm waiting on it, girl.
Okay, so we're in the process. We're in the process of the break.
It's never been for me one big break. It's just been inch by inch tenacity.
Okay.
And getting really good at being told no.
Yeah.
And even if it knocks you down for a second, which it totally does, you just, for whatever reason, I'm like, okay, you're not going to get me down too far. I'm going to get back up. And so to be cliche, but yeah, I think tenacity is why I'm still trucking. And I just see tiny inches of growth every month and every year. And I'm not even close to done yet. So I'm just getting started.
Tell me about this sophomore album coming out end of May, right?
Yeah. So I was very lucky to do my first record here in Memphis with Matt Ross Spang. It's called Vanity Project. It came out last May. And then my first single off the next record will be out probably in 4 weeks from today.
Okay. Exciting.
As soon as
What
I
was the
leave here, we'll figure
inspiration
that out.
around this one?
You know, it's just kind of fun. It's sarcastic and it's fun. And my first record was definitely like diary entries put to music. And Matt Ross Bang, who's, you know, native Memphian, is just such a legend and icon already at a young age. And he and Joe Restivo brought so much just gorgeousness and depth to it. And then the second record, I think I was like a little bit less writing from the wound, a little bit more writing from the scar. And so it's a bit more playful and kind of wild.
Absolutely. That's a very exciting.
So, stay
anytime you're
tuned.
able to continue the process with it, it's such a collaborative industry. Do you work with your brothers at all, ever?
So I was in a band with my oldest brother
Okay.
for a long time. Yeah, we haven't played together in many years, but we definitely still, like, we're each other's biggest, like, critics and fans, you
Mhm.
know, and so that's always kind of the test. Like, if we like what each other are doing, then, like,
Yeah.
whew, you know, we aren't working together right now,
Okay.
no.
Oh, I thought you had.
The writing from the scar, not from the wound. Just like, oh my
Sounds like a
gosh.
lyric, sounds like a bar.
You are absolutely a musician.
I'm pretty sure
That
surely
painted the
someone
imagery.
else has said that before. I probably didn't make it up, but if I did.
I'm giving you credit.
Okay.
I'm giving you credit.
There we go. I'll take it.
Do you have a dream collaboration?
Oh my
that
God,
you
I
wanna,
mean-
like, speak into existence.
Ann Peoples.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a couple. There's a long list, and then from an artist that's like, you know, more of a peer, Valerie June. You know, she was a
New
Memphis
album
girl.
dropped today.
I know, dude. I was thinking about the question that you just asked about
Mhm.
best thing that you have eaten in a while, and I was thinking best new thing that I've heard in a while. So I was on the way here. I was late listening to Valerie June.
Me too.
So there we go.
I got so excited. I watched a depressing Grizzlies loss last night, and I was
Yeah.
like, well, at least there's a new Valerie
I know.
June album.
Something to pick you up.
I didn't get a chance to talk to Melissa. I was over here trying
Yes.
to get some things set up. I love to eat food. I don't know if you can tell. Got a nice little belly. It's delicious. What is the most gluttonous thing that you've either made or seen made? Because I do this thing on Instagram where I find those videos. Jessica can attest to it. And I post on my stories that I need it. And it's like a 200-pound cheeseburger with 20,000 slices of cheese or something like that. So I'm just curious.
I'm into epic stuff, CJ. I
Damn
love
right,
epic.
Melissa.
Hell yeah.
You know, if I can fat wash some bourbon, I'm pretty sure this Southern girl can put on some pounds on anybody. You know, barbecue the way we cook it is not. It's pretty healthy. So I have to roll into my Southern fried roots.
There we go.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not cooking with lard, it's
What are
really
you
not
doing?
good.
Why are we cooking?
It's not good. So, yeah, I mean, tallow, lard, anything I can fry, I pretty much do. That's what I do at home.
So have you seen any of these monstrous creations at any barbecue competitions? Have you had a chance to partake in trying to make
Well,
one?
right now I'm working on my own Ferris wheel that will cook 6 hogs. And
Excuse me?
It based as it goes around. Yeah,
That's efficiency.
that is efficient.
So now you're also like a scientist or an engineer.
You know, I actually raised my own hogs at one point just because I wanted to get
Do the
what
whole
I
experience.
wanted. Well, you know, hog farmers raise them for the parts, ribs, butts, shoulders, you know?
Yeah.
But I was cooking it whole, so I needed different fat in different places. And so I created these hogs, I call them my Frankensteins. And speaking to what you were saying, we would literally just scrape this white lard off the top of the loin as we were trimming up.
Have mercy.
And you just add seasoning to it and some herbs and put it on toast.
Oh. It's like almost like a foie gras type
No,
or
I can't remember what you call it. I'm old and words
Yeah.
don't come to me anymore.
that's okay.
But it has
Sounds
a name.
delectable.
It has a name, you know, for those chefy type people.
So it's just like a like lard,
well, it's fat.
but fat.
And yeah, you just
straight
cream
off
it
the
up.
just straight off the pork ass.
so
Just
good.
get that fat
and
and
add some seasonings to it and some herbs, and it's fantastic.
I know you eat so much good stuff and you
I
cook
do.
so much good stuff.
Well,
Is there like one bite? So I have a very clear. I do not work in the food industry.
Yeah.
I like CJ. Love food. I don't love food as much as CJ, but like I do enjoy good food. And there is one bite that I had at Barbecue Fest years ago of just a crispy pigskin. It was at like 2 a.m. It was on my way out, and someone gave it to me, and I think about it to this day. I have never been able to match how I felt when I took a bite of that crispy pigskin.
Do you know that's why we serve pork rinds and we cook them fresh every day at the restaurant? Just because it's one of those crunch, taste good things that you always remember.
And this was hot. It was right off of it. Like I'm so sorry, Mr. Pig, but I'm watching the pig that I'm taking the crispy skin off of, and I said, thank you so much for this delectable bite that I will be talking about for years after. Is there a bite like that for you in your life?
Ribs.
And
my daughter, who has been, well, she'll tell you she was born on a prep table, but I can remember being 8 months pregnant trying to stay warm under a firebox. So she's been around barbecue all her life. She's really into cooking now. Her ribs are probably the best single bite that I've had in years. I mean, she's
what a compliment.
She's pretty awesome.
All right, what's the best thing you've eaten lately?
Okay, I don't want to steal the ribs bit. My mom is my go-to for ribs. But I'll say, just for dishes in a different world, the other night was at Restaurant Iris in East Memphis. The vanilla chicken dish. I'm not naming it correctly, Kelly, sorry. But the chicken with the vanilla, whatever's going on there, I can't cook anything, I can't make eggs, so I can't describe what's happening. But it's the best thing I've ever had.
I cannot tell you the serendipitous nature of you bringing up Restaurant Iris. I was at lunch at Hard Times Deli eating my bacon turkey ranch sandwich, which was phenomenal. Also, I had Gatorade in a can, which I have not had Gatorade in a can since I was at like soccer practice circa 1997. It has throwback on the can. I had a fruit punch Gatorade. It hit beautifully with the sandwich. But my friend and I were talking about how, like, of all the places in the city we happened to mention, we got to get back out to Restaurant Iris one night because I've never had a bad night.
It's so good.
And Kelly just opened, Kelly English for people who don't know who owns Restaurant Iris, he just opened a food truck too, which is a salad food truck, which I haven't had
in
a
Midtown.
chance.
Yep.
This city is so good for food. I tell people all the time, it's such an underrated gem when it comes to finding places to eat here in Memphis.
Yeah, it makes me proud of Memphis. I mean, the amount of like wonderful chefs and creators we have. But yeah, girl, I'm with you.
Well, I appreciate.
Are you gonna be distracted by all the smell goods happening? Because you'll be in the middle of Smokeslam, all the barbecue. Are you gonna be able to
I'm so
keep yourself
excited.
from drooling?
I've already like scheduled my sound check around when I need to be at the swine tent and like what's going on, and so I've got a full day.
Yeah, but you can't eat too much before you perform because you'll get the meat sweats.
I will save. Yeah, I will definitely save that for post performance.
The
It's okay.
It might be worth it.
Everybody has the meat sweats there, so it doesn't matter if you do too. Trust
I
me.
remember jamming out to War last year down on the river. And I too had the meat sweats. It was a time had by all. Listen, thank you guys so much for being here this morning. We are so excited for Smokeslam coming up May 15th through 17th. Get your tickets. A reminder, one of the best things about Smokeslam, so many free samples. So many free samples. So if you buy a ticket, you get the samples, you get the awesome performances, all of the entertainment that'll be there, all of the carnival festival games, and then great opportunities to see some of the best cooking in the world and to taste some of the best cooking as well. So Melissa and Cyrena, thank you for being here. We will take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll do a little Music Friday. We're going to talk about that Valerie June new album along with what we're listening to going into the weekend. We'll be right back.
By King. Wheels through the lane, now spins back. Ja hangs, puts it in! Oh, what a shot by Morant in the clutch! So hot. Oh, Sheeran said no! Because he doesn't quit on the play, comes up with a monster block.
When it's all on the line, you turn to the strong, the stable, the unwavering. To those with a history of raising their performance, to meet the moment. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st. And you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Double your chances to win all month long in March with 2 big promotions. On Fridays, embrace the madness and win a share of $150,000 in cash and free play. On Saturdays, starting March 8th, go for the gold and win your share of up to $10,000 in cash and free play in the 80K Fool's Gold giveaway. Enjoy live entertainment all month long and play for your chance to win big in March only at Southland Casino Hotel. Must be 21 or up. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing compares to catching your Grizzlies IRL. And that all starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight. Put that jersey collection to use for the next game and get Grizzlies tickets at Ticketmaster. Whether they're here at FedEx Forum or on the road, Ticketmaster's got your back when it comes to scoring tickets. And there's no better brag than saying you saw it live.
I never in a million years would have ever thought that John Cena's final run would be as a heel.
I love it.
I love it.
Once they saw this from The Rock.
They knew it. Everybody knew it except for Cody, which was so good.
Great camera work by
And then the
WWE.
kick. Yeah, I don't think WWE gets enough credit for the camera work and the production quality. I mean, it is incredible.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
We touched on this earlier, the panel here, about what really has been the mainstay of the Grizzlies, and that's Jaren Jackson Jr. Trip has just been awesome.
He's posting guys up. He's stronger than he's ever been. He's physical, and he's scoring all type of ways.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizz Beat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
You're fading fast. I didn't even turn the damn mic on.
Nothing.
That's my whole point.
This did absolutely
That's my
nothing.
whole point. That's why I don't drink coffee.
Fire
'Cause
up
after
my
the first-
third cup of coffee.
After the first cup, it's like, okay, I am awake, but I am tired. And you don't get to be more awake. You don't.
We should just pre-record the first segment, because really you should get my first thoughts coming after a game. And guess what? You will soon. New show coming to
Can you
Grind
make that
City Media.
announcement?
I don't know. I'll tease it.
Can you?
I should sit up. Be a professional.
Why? It's the last 3 minutes of your Friday, right? who sits up at
No, it's
their
not.
work
I have to go
desk?
talk about this team again
Oh,
with Gary
that's tough.
in
Yeah,
a half hour.
Go ahead and sit up
so we
there.
got some more time. We got
But
some more
yeah,
time
you
to
can't-
keep.
Can you make that announcement? There's things in the works.
There are, and it launches over the weekend, so I feel like
launches. When does it launch?
Sunday. After the Mavs game.
After the Mavs game?
There might be something new
On the
to discover.
Where?
On Grind City Media.
The YouTube channel?
The YouTube channel.
The app?
It would also be on the app. I think. Don't quote me. No, I don't want to say that because I actually don't know if that's true or not.
Is it going on?
Well, WMC Action News 5 is carrying Grizzlies Mavs
Oh.
regular season finale. It is
yeah.
Fan Appreciation Day. I better see you out there.
Better see you there.
Better see you there.
And it's going to be.
And it's important because I don't know if you know, but all the teams play tonight, and then no one plays tomorrow, and then all the teams play Sunday, and we're not going to know how this Western Conference playoff scenario situates itself until we're sitting there at the end of Grizzlies Mavs. Don't mess around and lose to the Mavs.
So after the Mavs game,
There's a little something,
there's something
with
on
me,
with you,
with Roser,
Roser,
with Bennett Doyle.
Bennett Doyle. So you're leaving me. Turn up.
Yeah,
I've
sorry.
always wanted to get rid of you.
You've been replaced.
Good.
No, I replaced you years ago. We've been doing it on the radio, but now we're taking it to the big time.
Whatever this
The
thing
YouTube.
is. Whatever this thing is that y'all are doing.
All right, let's do some Music Friday to get into the weekend, what we're listening to. I've said it once, I've said it twice on the show. You even heard it from Cyrena there. Listen to the new Valerie June album, support local. But honestly, I am just waiting for, you talk about somebody having their big break, and Valerie June is big at this point. Like, she was on the Apple Music to be discovered new music that came out today. But I just want more people to know Valerie June. Like, I just think she's too cool not to have a larger following. She has, I don't want to speak for her following. I'm sure it's quite large, but sometimes it feels a little niche. I just want more people to be in on the Valerie June experience because it's a fun place to live. Also, listen to the new Lana Del Rey song. It's called Henry Come On. I just wanted some sad, depresso girl music this morning, and that hit the spot. My new favorite song is by an artist named Marina. The song is called Cantissimo. Yep, that's it.
You said
only saying it
you
once.
said cantissimo.
I only said it once.
You didn't say it the right way.
I said it fast.
You said it fast and incorrectly. You pronounced the U as an A. So can you please say it again?
Cantissimo?
You're still mispronouncing it.
It's a good song. Just go listen to it. There's also...
What is it called?
Cantissimo.
Okay.
The chorus... I will be singing it for the rest of the summer. The song itself is like mid, but the chorus, it's great. It just says that word over and over.
But you do that where, and listen, we all do it. We all have songs who we will
course.
acknowledge, hey, not a good song, but that chorus is there for me. Fat, Juicy, and Wet, right? Like that song sucks, but you bop to the chorus. You're just listening to it for the chorus.
Damn. I just Googled it because I was curious. It came off her new album, the song Cantissimo. And one of the headlines that comes up is, Marina's Cantissimo is unfortunately another flopissimo. Can we just add isimo to the end of everything? Listen, I liked the chorus. I was just looking for a little bit of happiness this morning, and it gave me just that. Jesse Murph has a song that came out this week called Gucci Mane. It's very country vibes, but I actually have enjoyed that. And then one song I wanted to shout out. So I don't know when this happened, but I don't seek out listening to Ed Sheeran music. Maybe it's because my most listened to song every year is Ed Sheeran's The A-Team, because it's the song that comes up when I plug my phone into the car, and it's made me have a really weird distaste for Ed Sheeran. Like, I don't actually not like Ed Sheeran, but because I listen to that song every time my phone fires up into my car, it makes me irrationally angry at him. But so he had this new song called Azizam that came out. I don't know if it came out last week. It came out at some point, and I remember like clocking it. Didn't even have a desire to listen to it. I was like, I don't listen to Ed Sheeran because I have to listen to the A-Team opening notes every single day. I saw a TikTok yesterday that was the sole reason, like TikToks like the one I saw are the reason I stay on TikTok, because every now and then you'll get something that makes it feel as if you are in like a high level class at a high level university. And I felt like I went to music school. So Azizam is actually an like Iranian word. I think it's a Farsi word meaning beloved or my dear. And so this woman popped up and she was talking about how do we tell the difference between appropriation, appreciation, when someone is using someone else's culture like appropriately versus when it feels a little icky. And this was an Iranian woman talking about this Azizam song. And she said like her first instinct was, why is this like redheaded Irish man taking a word that I'm so familiar with, but then also appreciating this is a word that she grew up with and it was cool to hear it in a pop space. But then she went on this like dissertation about the connectivity between Irish music and Iranian music. And there are so many similarities down to the time that they're in. They're usually in like 6/8 time, and the instruments that are used between the two, different drums that sound very similar. Iran actually used bagpipes before Ireland or Scotland ever used bagpipes. So you don't often think of Iranian culture when you think of bagpipes, but like that's very much a part of their music history. And it all came back around to like Ed Sheeran did it in such a notable way. One of the people working on the album or working on the track is Iranian. They're putting out an additional version of it where it's actually going to be sung in Farsi. And it just, she brought up other words from other cultures that gained like mainstream understanding. Like Despacito became one of the most recognized words, and it was being sung in clubs all across the world after that song went off. Gangnam Style had a direct impact on K-pop taking over in the way that it did. Jai Ho, when that was popular, kind of like exposed Bollywood culture to a larger audience. So it was just a really cool thing. I was on a walk down by the river and I ended up listening to this like 7-minute talk on this song, and the song is fine, but it made me appreciate the song all the more. So
What's
I'm
the name
sorry,
of the
Ed
song?
Sheeran. Azizam.
Spell it. Okay, don't worry about it.
Azizam? Azizam? But it's now a word that I will forever remember because I learned this and now I've shared it to you. So there's your music history lesson of the day. Are you listening to anything, CJ?
No.
Fine.
Cynthia Erivo dropped a new song. I listened to it. Didn't know she was going to do an album. She is going to ride this, and rightfully so. She's incredible in it, an incredible vocalist, but she's going to ride the Wicked stuff all the way to wherever it'll take her. The song is Worst of Me. The album comes out in June, I do believe. There was a lot of sad girl songs that got released that made its way across my consciousness, and I didn't like that at all. So yeah, there's Quavo, one of the Migos, and one of the Babies got a song together. Everything in me wants to say it's Quavo and Lil Baby, but I could be wrong. They got a song that came out. I listened to it. It was
Green Day has
fine.
a new song that I haven't listened to yet.
Why the hell didn't Green Day come up when I was trying to find new music?
Bon Iver has a new album. If you want some possible sad music to listen to on this,
Jessica.
then you should listen to Valerie June.
That's
How can
who
you
I'ma
say
listen
sad? The first song is called Joy Joy.
Let's get it.
Let's get it. I don't even know what will
Valerie
bring me
June
joy joy.
And Cantissimo.
Cantissimo.
Oh, you whispered it that time. You pronounced it correctly.
And
You
I don't
whispered
think it's a floppissimo. And I hope the Grizzlies aren't a floppissimo tonight when they play the Denver Nuggets. That game at 8 o'clock Central Time. When we are back here on Monday, we will know how the Western Conference playoffs have all but shaken out. Prediction, CJ. The Grizzlies will be the what seed? Yes, I'm making you do it. I have to be here till 10:30 to go on Gary's show.
Music is
Just tell me what you think the Grizzlies seed will be going into the playoffs.
4 seed.
That is like the antithesis. The words you speak do not lead me to believe that the Grizzlies will be a 4 seed.
Okay. Well, then go off of the words that I speak and make your assumptions.
I'll say 6 seed. I'll say they do it somehow and avoid the play-in tournament because I'm an optimist. All right, everybody.
6 seed. I'm Jessica Benson.
No, I actually think.
So Bobby.
No.
Do-do-do-do-do.
I'd predict the 7.
Okay.
I predict the 7, and I predict we will be experiencing Grizzlies Timberwolves again next. I think it's Tuesday at Federal Express Forum, but we'll see.
Predictions are like buttholes. Everybody has them. and
Everybody
they're all
has
stink.
one.
So whatever. Go out there and do your damn job. Let's
They're
do it.
only useful sometimes.
Which times? How many times are they useful?
Depends how many times a day. Depends how regular you are.
Oh, okay.
All right, everybody. We'll see you Monday. Have a wonderful weekend. I think the weather is going to be spectacular. We'll see you Monday. Bye.
Isn't rain supposed to come in? I called it
Yeah,
thunderstorm.
spectacular.
I called it thunderstorm. Jalen, get us off the damn screen. I'm